In the profound words of Buddha, what we think, we become. This age-old wisdom, a simple yet profound statement, is the cornerstone of Buddha's teachings. It encapsulates the essence of our existence, the core of our being, and the blueprint of our reality. Our thoughts act as the master sculptor, carving out our experiences, shaping our perception, and crafting our reality. We are not just passive observers in the grand theatre of life, but active participants, creating and molding our existence with every thought we harbor. The concept of self-creation is central to Buddha's philosophy. He proposed that our thoughts are the seeds from which our reality grows. Like a gardener who nurtures his plants, we too, through our thoughts, nourish and cultivate our realities. If we harbor thoughts of peace, love, and compassion, we create a world imbued with these qualities. Conversely, if our thoughts are dominated by anger, hatred, and fear, our reality mirrors these emotions. Buddha emphasized the power and influence of our mental states, urging us to become aware of our thoughts and their impact. He taught us that our mind is not a mere receptacle of experiences, but a potent creator, capable of shaping our world. He implored us to harness this power, to become conscious creators, crafting our destiny with mindfulness and intention. In essence, Buddha's teachings encourage us to realize that we are not victims of circumstance, but creators of our own fate. Our thoughts are the brush, and our life is the canvas. By consciously choosing our thoughts, we can paint a reality that aligns with our deepest aspirations and highest potential. This wisdom serves as a guide, reminding us of our inherent power and potential. It empowers us to take charge of our lives, to create our reality, and to shape our destiny. It underscores the significance of our thoughts, highlighting their role as the architects of our world. In the grand scheme of life, our thoughts are the architects of our destiny. The journey of Buddha, originally known as Siddhartha Gautama, begins in the lush gardens of Lumbini. In this serene paradise, nestled among the towering trees and vibrant flowers, a child was born to a king and queen. This was no ordinary child, however. His birth was marked by miraculous signs, and his mother, Queen Maya, had dreamt of a white elephant descending from heaven, signaling the divine nature of her son. Raised in the opulence of his father's palace, young Siddhartha was shielded from the harsh realities of the world outside. The king, having been foretold of a prophecy at Siddhartha's birth, did everything he could to ensure his son would follow in his footsteps and become a great ruler. The prophecy stated that Siddhartha would either become a world monarch or a world teacher, depending on whether he witnessed life's suffering or not. Hence, the palace walls were high and the pleasures within endless. Siddhartha was immersed in luxury, with every whim catered to, every desire fulfilled. He was trained in the arts of war and peace, mastering archery, horsemanship, and the intellectual disciplines of his time. He was married to the beautiful princess Yasodhara and had a son, Rahula. It seemed as though he was destined to live out his days in the comfort and splendor of royalty. Yet, destiny has a way of catching up. The young prince, despite his sheltered existence, was not oblivious to the undercurrents of unease that ran beneath the surface of his golden life. An insatiable curiosity began to stir within him, a burning desire to understand the world beyond his palace walls, beyond the fleeting pleasures of his privileged existence. His heart yearned for a deeper understanding of the world and its complexities. He longed to peek beyond the veil of illusion and grasp the enduring truth of existence. This deep-rooted yearning, this spark of curiosity, was the first step towards his transformation from a prince to the Buddha, the enlightened one. Little did the world know that this prince would renounce his royal comforts to seek the truth about life. One day, Siddhartha stepped out of his palace, and his eyes opened to the realities of life. He was no longer shielded by the royal comforts and grandeur that once surrounded him. His heart pounded with a newfound awareness, a stark contrast to the serene rhythm of his earlier existence. As he strolled along the streets, he encountered a sight unfamiliar to his princely eyes. He saw old age, a man hunched over, his body frail and weak. This sight stirred something within him, the realization that youth and vitality are fleeting, that age spares no one, left a profound impact on Siddhartha. His journey didn't end there. He encountered disease, a man writhing in pain, his body a battlefield for ailments unseen. The sight of this man, once healthy, now a victim of his own body's rebellion, further deepened Siddhartha's understanding of life's inescapable hardships. Finally, he met death. A lifeless body, once vibrant with life, now silent and still. The ultimate reality of life's impermanence struck him. Siddhartha realized that birth, old age, disease, and death are but stages in the cycle of life, a cycle that everyone, prince or pauper, is bound to. These encounters stirred a tempest within Siddhartha's heart. He realized that his princely life, filled with luxuries and pleasures, was devoid of answers to the true human condition. His heart yearned for a path that could lead to the cessation of suffering, a path that could provide answers to the questions that now consumed him. Making a decision that would forever change the course of his life, Siddhartha chose to renounce his princely life. He bid farewell to his wife and son, his palace, his kingdom, and his luxurious lifestyle. He stepped into the unknown, embracing the life of an ascetic, a life dedicated to seeking the truth of existence. And thus began the journey of a prince towards becoming the Buddha. The search for truth led Siddhartha to meditate under the Bodhi tree. In the quiet solitude of a forest near the river Neranjara, Siddhartha, a seeker of truth, sat under the shade of a fig tree, known as the Bodhi tree. He was determined to unravel the mysteries of life, to comprehend the cycle of birth, suffering, death, and rebirth. Siddhartha's journey wasn't easy. As he delved deeper into meditation, his mind was assailed by doubts, fears, and temptations. Images of his past life, his family, his kingdom, and all the earthly pleasures he had renounced came flooding back. It was as if his mind was testing him, challenging him to succumb to the allure of worldly desires. But Siddhartha remained resolute. He understood that these were mere illusions created by his mind. He confronted his fears, let go of his desires, and silenced his doubts. He rejected the illusion of self and embraced the reality of interconnectedness. This was the middle path, the way of moderation that would lead him to enlightenment. As Siddhartha meditated, his mind grew still, like a tranquil pond, undisturbed by the winds of thought. He attuned himself to the rhythm of existence, and he began to perceive the truth. He saw the cycle of birth, suffering, death, and rebirth, not as a wheel of torment, but as a dance of life. He understood the cause of suffering, and he saw the way to end it. In the profound stillness of his meditation, Siddhartha attained enlightenment. He saw the world as it truly was, free from the veil of illusion. He understood the nature of suffering, the cause of suffering, the end of suffering, and the path that leads to the end of suffering. He had become the Buddha, the awakened one. In the silence of the night, under the Bodhi tree, a simple man found the profound truth about life and became the Buddha. From the enlightened Buddha flowed a river of wisdom that continues to nourish millions. The teachings of Buddha are a beacon of light, guiding us through the stormy seas of life. They are not just beliefs or theories, but practical guidelines for leading a meaningful, fulfilling life. At the heart of Buddha's teachings are the Four Noble Truths. The first truth, dukkha, acknowledges that suffering exists in life. It's a universal experience that binds us together. The second truth, samudaya, explains that this suffering has a cause, often rooted in our desires and attachments. Then comes the third truth, nirodha, the realization that suffering can indeed be extinguished. It's a hopeful message that liberation from suffering is within our grasp. The fourth and final truth, magga, proposes the path to end this suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path. Now let's delve into the Noble Eightfold Path, which is essentially Buddha's blueprint for a meaningful life. It begins with right understanding, acknowledging the Four Noble Truths, followed by right thought, which encourages us to foster thoughts of love and non-violence. Then comes right speech, promoting truthfulness and kindness in our words. Right action urges us to behave ethically, while right livelihood encourages us to earn a living in a way that doesn't harm others. Right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration all relate to cultivating a disciplined mind, rooted in awareness and meditation. These teachings invite us to reflect on our actions, thoughts, and words, urging us to live consciously and compassionately. They remind us that peace and happiness are not external treasures to be found, but inner states to be cultivated. As Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within, do not seek it without." As we conclude, ponder over these words and let the wisdom of Buddha guide your journey.